Alright everyone, welcome back. So we have a good card here tomorrow. It's the last one in Vegas until November, I believe. It's a big one. It's 14 fight card, plenty of action in there. We only had a 7 fight card last week, so double the amount of fights this one. And no pullouts yet anyway. We'll just wait and see how fight day itself goes, but for now, strong card right now as I'm speaking on the Friday. Last event, overall, only about half unit, but we were up about we were up about 5 units before the main event, and then during the main event, I tipped a 2 unit play to members, Angela Hill decision, live, and I just feel like I got the wrong side of the judges there. I feel like it was a bad call, to be honest. I'm not going to say it was robbery, but it stopped the night from being like a 8 unit night or whatever, 8 or 10 units, which is always annoying, like, but it is what it is. We move on to this card. So first fight of the night, Tyson Nam versus Jerome Rivera. Jerome Rivera, who we seen on Contender Series last month, so it's a quick turnaround for him here, and it's a big step up in competition. In the Luis Rodriguez fight in Contender Series, I actually scored it live for Rodriguez, but when I rewatched it back, I scored it for Rivera. Just thought he was more active with his tape kicks, with his lead leg kicks and stuff, like lead inside leg kicks, which is something I'll speak about here coming up. And I mean, it was close. I can see it for either fighter off fight, but Jerome Rivera's stand up is a work in progress, primarily a grappler by trade. He's a jiu-jitsu specialist more than anything. Decent takedowns, he is UFC level, I would say, Jerome Rivera, and he's only 25, but this is just a big step up in competition to be fighting like a veteran like Tyson Nam, who has been in the MMA game for coming up to 15 years now, and he's still I'm not sure if I'm going to say he's in his prime, but I would say technically he's as good as he's ever been. Maybe not so physically, I'm not sure, but you could say Tyson Nam's at the top of his game right now. We seen him knocked out Adeshev, and this is what I was going to talk about. Was one of Jerome Rivera's kicks that he likes to use is the inside lead inside leg kick. So Rivera is southpaw and his opponent's orthodox. He likes to smack his back foot, his rear foot, up against that lead inside leg of an orthodox fighter. But the thing is, see if you go back and watch Tyson Nam's last fight against Adeshev, that is the exact same thing that Adeshev tried to use on Tyson Nam, and he ended up, when Adeshev threw the lead inside leg kick, he dropped his hands, and Nam just come over the top of counter right overhand and just knocked him out. So look for that punch from Tyson Nam in this fight, because it is one of Rivera's main tools, and I think the counter right overhand will be an option for Tyson Nam, because Tyson Nam's kickboxing specialist. He reads things, I guess, from below average strikers, and he can see it coming, and that's how he times these guys. He counters them and gets these knockouts. Because Tyson Nam, wouldn't say he hits as hard as Figueiredo for a flyweight, but he's definitely got power in his hands. But I think it's timing and precision more than anything. He hits the right spot, at the right time and stuff. He's very good on the feet now. But thing is with Nam, he is low output, and he's been like that for basically forever. He goes for the knockout a lot, which leaves him open for losing by decision, because the fighter that is always looking for the knockout, most of the time ends up losing, like, on the scorecards, because he tries to hunt the knockout too much rather than actually playing like a point fight game and racking up points like Rivera does. So that is the actual only thing that is like preventing me from batting Nam here. But I do like Nam in this spot. I like his experience. I like his advantage on the feet. I think he has good sprawl. Don't think Rivera will be able to take Nam down here. He hasn't been took down UFC. Cara France tried to do it, tried to take him down, but was unsuccessful. And if you watch that fight, Nam was just straight. He had his hips down immediately, so very good takedown defense. And if this does play it on the feet, I can just see Rivera eventually running into one of the right hands of Nam. Not sure if he wins by knockout, but if you want, I'll go with Tyson Nam by knockout. Next fight up is Andre Ewell versus Erwin Rivera. So Andre Ewell, 7-inch reach advantage for this one. Very sharp boxer. Decent kicks, decent tape and stuff, but primarily like a rangy boxer, especially for bantamweight. With a 75-inch reach, that's crazy for bantamweight. Like, I would love to see who's like the lowest weight fighter with the biggest reach, because Andre Ewell has to be like one of them. Bantamweight 75-inch reach, that's huge. I'm almost sure there's a bantamweight in the UFC with a 78-inch reach. Can't remember who, but just crazy like. So Erwin Rivera, 68-inch reach. Yeah, there it is. And he's going to be a smaller fighter here, but Erwin Rivera, primarily a boxer, just like a gritty boxer, really hard to finish. He's very heavy on the lead leg. Like any of these, boxers that come from like the likes of Mexico and Latin America, the fight in MMA, they're very heavy on their lead leg. But so is Andre Ewell, so I can just see them cancel each other out in that regard. Can't see either one like firing off calf kicks and like just destroying one of their legs. Can't really see that. I can just see us being like a boxing MMA boxing fight, but in range distance where it'll work in the favor of Andre Ewell, who he's one of the quickest guys that can cover distance with his punches, and he makes the most of his reach by fighting really long. So he does. He's a southpaw, has really good 1-2. Seen that in the Barao fight, where I actually bet Ewell against Barao, so it did. 155 underdog he was. And then I bet Marlon Vera against Ewell, so it did, in that one. And then I bet Andre Ewell against Martinez, so I'm 3-3 on betting on Ewell in the UFC so far. But I've got to say, in the Martinez fight, I was lucky, because watching that fight back, I did score it for Jonathan Martinez. But I feel like in this fight, if Rivera's going to have success, he needs to cover the range. He needs to come in close to Andre Ewell, and I think if he does, Ewell's just going to crack him. It's just going to be one of those things that, if he does try to move forward, the 1-2 is going to be always there for Ewell. And if we're talking about this going the distance, which I think it does, because Rivera's so hard to put away. We've seen that in the Chikadze fight, where he was just taking these crazy amount of knees. If it goes to the judges' scorecards, I've got the higher output fighter and the longer fighter here in Andre Ewell, and overall I would say the better stand-up fighter. Can't really see Rivera taking Ewell down. I'll be surprised, to be honest. He did take Alkazi down, but Alkazi is just, I would say, lower levels than Andre Ewell. So yeah, I like Andre Ewell there. Gonna say by decision, because They're so hard to put away, but you never know. So in the next one, Randy Costa against Journey Newson. Randy Costa, 1-1 in UFC so far. He lost his debut against Brandon Davis, where he, after the first whole strike in the whole fight, it really messed the game up of Costa, because it was a calf kick from Brandon Davis, and after that, if you watch the fight, Costa was just moving really awkwardly, so he was, with his legs. Like, he didn't seem like he was on solid footing, really. And obviously it was the leg kicks for me from Brandon Davis. Then Costa ends up gassing out in that fight, trying to put Davis away, who just has an iron chin, and ends up getting choked out, really. In that one, that's all that was. And then in the Boston Salmon fight, I don't know, he just put it on Boston Salmon just early, and he caught him. But Boston Salmon isn't really UFC standard, and he has really bad chin, so he does. Feel sorry for Boston Salmon. That Sean West fight, that's probably the worst illegal knee I've ever seen. But back on this fight, I just think if Journey Newson can get the calf kicks going, like Brandon Davis did against Randy Costa, it can cause Costa some serious problems, especially when you consider Journey Newson, he does utilise the calf kick, and he did against Ricardo Ramos, and he had him limping by the third round. And see, to be honest, if that was a 5-round fight, Journey Newson was probably going to finish Ricardo Ramos, because of how gone Ramos' leg was. So Journey Newson, Randy Costa, both orthodox. Calf kick's going to be there. I just think that round 1 will be interesting, because Randy Costa likes to come out hard and quick and put it on these guys, try to get them out there early. All of his wins are in round 1. He tried to get Brandon Davis out of there in round 1 as well, but couldn't. So I think he will come fast out of the gate here, but Journey Newson has a chin. We've seen in the Ramos fight, he just took those spinning back elbows that knocked out Zahabi and stuff. He took 2 of them. So to me, he has a great chin, Journey Newson. So I can see Journey Newson surviving the early onslaught, so to say, of Randy Costa, and then eventually wearing him down with calf kicks, with superior cardio, and I'm going to say TKO finish. So I am for Journey Newson. TJ Laramie versus Derek Minner. TJ Laramie, another one of these Contender Series guys that is making a quick turnaround, really. What episode was he on? Is this the Impa one? Yeah, it is. That was a good one. I like that one. Pretty sure. No, that wasn't the first one. Yeah, it was week 2, but that was a good one. I like that one. Yeah, I was weird that fight against Daniel Swain, because, like, I don't know, TJ Laramie, just, like, Daniel Swain, basically, what I'm trying to say, he just gave up when he was on bottom from Laramie, and Laramie was ground and pounding him. Like, he wasn't, like, it didn't look like at any point that TJ Laramie was going to finish Daniel Swain, but when Daniel Swain got back up, that was it, he was done. He said he had no power and stuff. To me, he just quit Daniel Swain when he realised on the ground that he couldn't top TJ Laramie, and then to me, he just took the easy way out. But supposedly he had an injured rib, Daniel Swain, so it must have just been from top pressure of Laramie, or it was one shot that he hits to the body when he's on full mount of that on top of Daniel Swain. The TJ Laramie hit, and it was only one punch too. So if it is a rib injury that forced Daniel Swain not to continue, that was only one shot, and that just shows to me that TJ Laramie has a bit of power. So he does. But Derek Minner, he got dominated by Grant Dawson, and he's one of these guys that he just gets tapped out a lot, so he does. And if he cannot get these guys out of there in round one, if he can't submit anyone, he ends up wilting. Because to me, Derek Minner is round one or bust, so he is. But I think that TJ Laramie has the submission defense to survive any submission threats from Derek Minner, and then eventually he's just gonna wear him down. Round 2 and 3 maybe. I'm gonna say by finish. Yeah, because Derek Minner's just been finished quite a lot. TJ Laramie he's primarily a wrestler, so he is, but not the most offensive submission threat, or he's a decent jiu-jitsu player, I believe. Can't remember. I was searching up when I was researching the fight, but he's accomplished on the jiu-jitsu circuit. I think it's just obviously regional, but I think he's purple belt, TJ Laramie, I'm pretty sure. And he's training up in Canada, so he is. But yeah, got TJ Laramie by TKO on that one. I'm gonna say, yeah, TKO. Next fight, Sarah Alper versus Jessica Rose Clark. Sarah Alper, who was on Contender Series, she choked out Shayna Young, who pretty sure she fought in UFC. Shayna Young. Yeah, she did. She fought me as Jason there back in February, should I say. Sarah Alper, primarily a wrestler. I would say poor stand-up, to be honest, but her takedown game is good. That's where she has her most success. She just takes these girls down and stays on top, so she does. To be honest, it's hard to say whether I can see her taking down Jessica Rose Clark. Probably, I would say most likely, but if she does, I think it's only a matter of time before Jessica Rose Clark gets back up and then works her superior stand-up game, to be honest. Because Alper, it's just poor striking, so she does. So yeah, let me see. The lane's just too wide in this one. Anyone playing Jessica Rose Clark at minus 230, minus 250 is crazy to me, especially considering Jessica Rose Clark lost her last two. They were against, obviously, primarily not wrestlers, but nevertheless, she didn't really look great in those fights. But to be honest, Alper may be live here if she gets Jessica Rose Clark down for a prolonged period of time, so we'll see what happens there. But overall, I would say I like Jessica Rose Clark. Or no, not even. I'm going to go with the value side here. I'm going to go with Sarah Alper by decision. Just with relentless takedown game, and just really outworking Jessica Rose Clark. But who knows? This is just purely a value pick because I think the line is too wide. So Mira Bueno Silva versus Mira Romero Barella. Bueno Silva is jiu-jitsu artist, comes from Brazil. Her stand-up game is actually not too bad. When I watched it on tape, it was decent. She comes forward quite a lot, she's good with pressure and stuff. She forced Jillian Robertson to shoot, so she did. And then Robertson eventually ended up in the guard of Bueno Silva, and obviously ended up getting topped out with an armbar in the first round, that one. Bueno Silva, she didn't have the same amount of success against Morose in that one, in her last outing there back in March, but Morose is good. I think Morose is underrated, to be honest, so that isn't something to hang your head in shame about, that loss. We've seen her on the Brazilian Contender Series of the first season of it, We've seen her choke out Souza there in the first round, but Souza's terrible, like, to me anyway. So if you watch that fight, it is brutal how she taps Souza in that one. Bueno Silva does. Like a ninja choke from standing. No, terrible. Really bad. But there's obviously nothing Bueno Silva can do about that. She got her out there in just over a minute. So it is what it is. But Maria Romero Barella get topped out by Courtney Casey in her last one. Courtney Casey's not really a known finisher as well. Bueno Silva's on, 3. She is 4 losses in her last 5 fights, and then her only win was against Tali Santos, who was fighting up at 135, or 125 now. 125 that fight. Oh, sorry, I think there's someone else. Yeah, it was a split decision, that one. So it was. To be honest, I can just see this fight hitting the ground, and then Bueno Silva working her jiu-jitsu game and tapping Mira Romero Barella. It's tongue twister, that one. Who to me isn't UFC standard at all. No way. Shouldn't be in the UFC. I think she gets cut off the fight. I think Bueno Silva's a level above her on the ground, and I think she taps her out in that one. So Mirsad Backtick versus Damon Jackson. Backtick coming off split decision loss against EK. Can't remember who scored that one before. It was close, that fight, to be honest, but this is a short notice fight. Jackson's coming in on a couple of days notice, so he is, and he's hadn't fought in UFC 4. Haven't even taped him, to be honest, but just wiki capping his record and stuff, I can say that he doesn't appear to be UFC level, but that's all I really know, because I haven't even seen a line for this fight. Let me see, is it even on the card? No, it's not coming up on the card. It must not actually be on it. It's saying Topology that it's on it and on Sherdog, but I do not believe it is. Maybe it is. I don't know, to be honest. Let me check UFC thing. Also, UFC is saying it's still on. So we'll go by their word, obviously. UFC stats, that is. So, interesting. Haven't done tape on Jackson. So, I'm expecting the line to be like minus 400 or something. I'll take a look at props. I'll see what happens, but I like Backtick by KO here. Just wiki capping it, obviously. Because I haven't looked at Jackson, so can't give an accurate read in that one. But yeah, Backtick probably the level, just level above Jackson in that one. So Jordan Espinosa versus David Dvorak. Espinosa coming off that decision win against Mark De La Rosa. Back in June there, 3 months ago. He looked really good that fight to me. I bet Perez against him, so it did. That was the Blades and JDS fight, wasn't it? Or card, I mean. Yeah, it was. So obviously Jordan Espinosa's, his holding his game's his ground game. Can I see David Dvorak taking Espinosa here? Possibly. But Espinosa, his takedown defense is good, so it is. I believe it's 88%. Yeah, it is. 88% takedown defense rate. So I'm not entirely sure David Dvorak will be able to get Espinosa down here. So if I'm going off purely a stand-up fight, I would give the advantage to Espinosa, because he looked very good on the feet against Mark De La Rosa, and he addressed some of his cardio concerns that have been raised about him. But to be honest, I think the cardio thing, I think it's a wee bit too, people are like making it too pronounced than it is. I don't think it's actually his cardio is that bad. It looked fine in De La Rosa fight, so he looked very good in the De La Rosa fight. As I say, he was quick on his feet, he was firing that jab, he was scoring a lot of points. and it was a comfortable victory for him. But saying that, De La Rosa isn't UFC standard. I believe De La Rosa's been cut since that fight. If not, he should have been like. But let me check the reach. I believe Espinosa has a reach advantage by 1 each. I'm going to go with Jordan Espinosa. He's underdog in this one. So you can get him plus 100 in some books here in Ireland or the UK. So I'm going to go with him. I think he just outpoints Dvorak, so I do, but it's hard to have I don't really have a big read in this fight because I just need to see Dvorak tested more against some of these, higher level guys to give like a better read on it. But if we're going off last performance, I would say Espinosa looked better than Dvorak looked last time out, who lost the first round against Bruno Silva and then won rounds 2 and 3. So yeah, Espinosa by decision there. I think he can just outwork Dvorak on the feet, working his movement, his stand-up game, his jabs and stuff, and outpointing Dvorak there. So next up, Kevin Holland versus Darren Stewart. Now this is a good fight. To be honest, there probably is some value on Darren Stewart, who is, let me check. I'll just use Topology for odds. He's plus 220 right now. The value side is Darren Stewart here, obviously, but Kevin Holland's good on the feet, and I don't see a knockout in this fight, to be honest. Kevin Holland has a really good chin. He rolls with punches well, so he does. We've seen that in the Buckley fight. He was eating a few shots, but he was rolling with them, so he didn't really, take them as much. He went 3 rounds against Thiago Santos, who's one of the biggest middleweights ever, probably. He just has a lot of power in his hands. So, Kevin Holland, he is stand-up fighter primarily, but he's black belt in jiu-jitsu as well. He's like a rangy fighter, rangy kickboxer, likes to use a lot of kicks. Not primarily the best boxer ever, but his straight punches are very good, like a straight right hand, very long, fights, or utilises that 81-inch reach very well. So he does. We've seen that in the Buckley fight, who was a lot shorter than him. He was just peppering him with jabs and stuff. He finished Anthony Hernandez before that in 39 seconds. He looked very good in that one. Big knee to the body, just put Hernandez down. And then against Brendan Allen, he got tapped out. But Brendan Allen's different kettle of fish than Darren Stewart. So he is. Darren Stewart, primarily a boxer from England. He's going to be at a 7-inch reach disadvantage in this one. He looked good against Maki Pitolo in his last one. I thought he would win that one. He did. He won by a guillotine, weirdly enough. Just Pitolo felt the power and then just jumped in for a takedown. And Darren Stewart was just on the neck immediately. So he tapped out Pitolo in that one. And then he looked awful against Fabinski, so he did. But that was like a very bad style matchup. So it was Fabinski. A Cage Warriors fight. Here's how I can see this fight going. I can see this being contested at Kevin Holland's range. I can see Darren Stewart not really being able to close the distance down and get, in close fighting range of Kevin Holland. And then I can see just, Kevin Holland peppering Darren Stewart away. Utilising his longer reach, his very long legs, his good kicks and stuff. And outpointing Darren Stewart for a decision victory. Also, Kevin Holland has way higher strikes landed per minute, so he does, and Darren Stewart 4.65 strikes landed per minute compared to Darren Stewart's 2.97, which further reinforces my Prediction that Kevin Holland wins by decision, especially considering both of these two men have granite chin, and I cannot see either of them knocking each other out. So Kevin Holland by decision, that one, but I'm not playing the money line. I think it's a wee bit weird, but if Kevin Holland was about minus 160, I would play it, but not at minus 250 and upwards, no way. So Mackenzie Dern versus Randy Marcos in this one. Mackenzie Dern coming off the submission victory against Hannah Savers. Hannah Savers took, or let me see, no, she didn't take Mackenzie Dern down. She ended up on top, and eventually she decided to stay in the guard and the stack guard of Mackenzie Dern, and ended up just getting knee barred, which is just a terrible move. Hannah Savers is just, her ground game, fight IQ is so bad. So I can see Mackenzie Dern struggling to get Randy Marcos down in this, but to me, to be honest, Mackenzie Dern's hands are improving, so they are. I can see some improvement in her game in regard to her stand-up, and especially considering she came under the tutelage of Jason Prillo in that last recent couple of months. I believe it was after during lockdown happened. She went back to California and started training with Jason Prillo, who's based out of there. So that's always good for her, especially in regards to their boxing and stuff. Prillo's a great boxing coach for MMA. And to me, we've seen it in the Savers fight. I think that her hands look better for the short amount of time it was on the feet. Randy Marcos, underrated wrestler, good takedown defense, doesn't really get took down with freestyle wrestling takedowns such as double legs, single legs. If she's going to be took down, it is probably by, I'd say, trip, judo throw maybe, head and arm throw, something like that. So yeah, if Mackenzie Dern can't take Randy Marcos down, this fight obviously going to be on the feet. I can see Mackenzie Dern outstriking Randy Marcos on the feet, because if you watch some of Marcos' last couple of fights, so low output. So she has crazy low output. Like, she barely throws at all. She just relies on her wrestling a lot, so she does too much. So I would give the advantage to Dern on the feet. Just, Marcos low output, Mackenzie Dern ever improving stand-up game, especially her hands. And obviously it would give her, Mackenzie Dern, world gi champion in jiu-jitsu, the advantage on the ground. If it goes to the ground, I would say Marcos is in big trouble. So I can see why Dern's favourite here, but I think she wins by decision, to be honest. I can just see her outpointing Marcos on the feet for 15 minutes with regards to their stand-up game and stuff, and obviously getting the judges' scorecards. So Dern by decision, that one. Moving on, Johnny Walker versus Ryan Spann. Johnny Walker coming off 2 losses in his last 2. One against Krylov, who grinded him out. Krylov utilised his wrestling game in that one, and then Corey Anderson, who just dinged Johnny Walker on the feet and then just laid it on him. He caught Johnny Walker with an overhand right in that one, so he did, and then followed it up. But if you watch some of Ryan Spann's fights, he likes to use the same overhand and stuff, so he does. So that could be path to victory there, catching Johnny Walker with his big right hand, especially considering Johnny Walker holds his hands very low. We've seen that in the Corey Anderson fight big time. His hands were just by his hips, which is bad. It doesn't really work. in MMA unless you're a karate specialist, such as MVP, such as Wonderboy Thompson. Johnny Walker's not one of those people, so I can see Ryan Spann having the advantage on the feet here. Johnny Walker to me, his only path to victory is really catching Ryan Spann something. Big flying knee, spinning back fist he likes to do, in which he caught, what do you call him? Justin Ledet, he caught with a spinning back fist. And then, he caught Misha Serkinov with a flying knee. So if he is going to win, it's by something weird. But Ryan Spann, we've seen it in Sam Alvey fight, he can utilise his grappling and he can grind Johnny Walker out and then, outwork him after Johnny Walker slowed down a bit, because he slowed down every one of his UFC losses. Johnny Walker has. He slowed down big time in the Krylov fight. Because he's a fast twitch guy, like, so he is, Johnny Walker. But saying that, he does look much leaner for his fight, and I'm not sure if it's because he had COVID or he is addressing some of his cardio concerns by obviously leaning out. I'm not sure, to be honest, but Ryan Spann, just to me, has a lot of paths to victory, whereas Johnny Walker's is very limited. To me, Ryan Spann can just catch Johnny Walker with something on the feet. I think he can work his jab and stuff, work his reach, and just outpoint Johnny Walker if he wants to. I think he can take Johnny Walker down and, grind him out. So I don't know, there's plenty of ways for Ryan Spann to win in this one to me. And I think Ryan Spann does grind Ryan Spann out, and then when Johnny Walker has, what am I saying? I think Ryan Spann grinds Johnny Walker out, then I think when Johnny Walker slows down, there is going to be the possibility of submission for Ryan Spann, because Ryan Spann has some good guillotines and stuff. We've seen it at Devin Clark fight. Also the Sorty fight. So he has good guillotine, good jiu-jitsu, trains at Fortis MMA under Safe Side, one of the best up-and-coming gyms. Wouldn't even say it's up-and-coming now, I'd say it's one of the best established gyms. The home of Jeff Neal, Ryan Spann, Carlos Diego Ferreira, to name a few. So yeah, I like Ryan Spann there as the underdog. Gonna say by decision, or not by decision, by submission. Up next, Hamzat Chimaev versus GM3 Gerald Meerschaert. Hamzat Chimaev, I bet him as a minus 500 favourite against Rhys McKee. Rhys McKee I know very well, so he comes from just outside Belfast. And I know him as one of these guys from Ireland. And I knew Chimaev was just going to destroy him. Actually had Chimaev by TKO there too as well, because I knew Rhys McKee's jiu-jitsu game, sub-defense is good, so I felt like Chimaev wasn't going to submit him. So that obviously came through for me here. And then he mauled John Phillips, so he did. I remember Johnny Walker, when I taped that fight, Johnny Walker was... Alright, Hamzat Chimaev versus GM3 Gerald Meerschaert next up. GM3, fuck's sake. So next up, Hamzat Chimaev versus GM3 Gerald Meerschaert. Hamzat Chimaev, I bet him against Rhys McKee last time. I got him minus 500, but I had him in two doubles. I had him, first double was Chimaev minus 500, plus Luke minus 160. Luke was fighting, what do you call him? Luke was fighting Jalen Turner. So that came through. And then I had Chimaev minus 500 plus Magomed Ankalaev, who was minus 250 and was meant to fight Ion Kutlaba. Obviously that fight didn't happen. Unfortunately, hasn't happened yet, the rematch, which is annoying. But saying that, I wouldn't be playing Chimaev as a minus 400 favourite here. No way against GM3. While I do think he wins, I just think the odds are off. Obviously, GM3 being the Jiu-Jitsu black belt, very good on the ground, but he has got submitted 8 times, so he has. His most recent submission loss was the Jack Hermanson back in December of 2018. 18 that was, but Hermanson just ran through him, and so the GM3 was going to lose probably by ground and pound, so he just kind of gave up the choke to me. Anyway, like, that's what I think. But way back in his early professional days, he got submitted 7 times, which is quite a lot. But obviously his jiu-jitsu games got way better. But we've seen it in the Jack Hermanson fight. He, on the bottom, get in some sticky situations. I'm also seeing that fight, his takedown defense isn't great, GM3's. Also against, what do you call him, Eric Spacely, GM3 get took down and mounted. And again, you know, he was getting ground and pounded. But eventually ended up sweeping Spacely and ended up TKing him on the feet eventually in that one. But in that fight, again, he did end up some sticky situations on the ground. And to be honest, Chimaev, he's obviously very good on the ground. His ground and pound game is something else. It's very Khabib-like. He triangles up the feet and stuff, and then just grabs the hand, grabs the wrist, and then just hits them with his free hand. He usually likes to grab someone on the bottom's right hand with Chimaev's left hand, and then obviously controls the wrist, and then just with Chimaev's good hand with his right just pounds the face, especially when they're up against the cage. So obviously you can see Chimaev getting mere short down here, but it's whether really Mearshart can get on top of Chimaev. I don't think he does. I think Chimaev ground and pounds him for I don't know how long, for a couple of rounds, eventually gets the TKO stoppage. But if Mearshart does manage to sweep Chimaev and gets on top, Chimaev will be in some trouble, because Mearshart's just not a guy you want on top. Very dangerous top game, especially with his chokes, guillotine chokes and stuff. So, you know, I do think Chimaev wins here by TKO, but to be honest, the line is off and too wide, but doesn't mean I'm going to play GM3, but I do think Chimaev wins there by TKO in that one. So, Donald Cerrone versus Nico Price. Nico Price coming off the doctor stoppage TKO loss, UFC 249, in his last performance. But, you know, Nico Price looked good in that one. It was 1-1 going into the third in that fight to me. But it's weird. Nico Price's stand-up is very weird. Like it's not like very structured or anything. It's very loose, and you know, he just does whatever comes to him. He has good tape and stuff. Good 1-2. Good right hand over the top. Obviously, his main thing in his whole game is power. He does pack a punch. Like we've seen it in the Tim Means fight, who Tim Means was just bringing it on Nico Price until Nico Price landed the right overhand, knocked him out in the first round in that one. We've seen it in the Randy Brown fight. He TKO'd Randy Brown from the bottom. So he just has brick hands really. He knocked out Alan Jouban as well. But saying that, UFC 249 was Cerrone's last fight as well, I believe. Yep, it was. It was against Anthony Pettis. Cerrone to me isn't washed. Obviously he's lost 4 in a row, but it's stupid how... It's stupid when you think of it, the level of competition Cerrone was facing, especially in his last, 3. He shouldn't have been fighting, Gaethje. He shouldn't have been fighting him. Coming off a loss against Ferguson, that was a terrible matchup for him. I remember fucking Diary of a Pro Gambler was sitting ranting on YouTube back when I used to watch his videos, sitting ranting on about how Cerrone was going to win and stuff, which just shows what he's like. But what do you call it? Then obviously he had the McGregor fight where McGregor fucked him up with shoulder strikes in round 1, and then about 10 seconds in, then just head kicks him and knocks him out. Which obviously he shouldn't have been fighting McGregor as well. But in the Pettis fight, Cerrone looked good. Honestly, it did score that fight for Pettis, but it was close. I bet Pettis before it as well, tipped at the members. Remember Pettis being 4-5 minus 120, which I was happy about. And then also, I'm nearly sure I live bet him. Around about the same price as well. In the 3rd round or something. But if you go looking at the striking stats of Nico Price's fight that night and Cerrone's fight that night as well, Nico Price, let me just show you. Nico Price obviously fought Luque. I would say it was a much higher tempo fight than the Cerrone Pettis rematch was. But if you just look here, Price landed 129 significant strikes in 3 rounds, 37 seconds. Or sorry, 3rd round with 3 minutes and 37 seconds in. So about a minute and a half off the final bell. But so 129 strikes, significant strikes that was. But if you look at Cerrone's fight here from that night, he only landed 62 significant strikes. So obviously the higher output would go to Nico Price. And Nico Price just has a granite chin to me anyway. He has a really good chin. I wouldn't say, maybe not granite, but he does have a good chin. And then Cerrone, he's had 7 knockout losses, but to me his chin isn't gone. He took some shots off Pettis, and if his chin was gone, he would have got knocked out by some man, and obviously he didn't, and he was coming off the quick turnaround of the McGregor fight. So to me, Cerrone's chin isn't done, but he is coming up against the natural 170er here, who has unusual striking, but it's good, and he carries a lot of power. But to be honest, I can see it's going to judges' scorecards, and Nico Price just making this like a dogfight, as he does, like he's always done. The 2 Luque fights, the Jeff Neal fight where he dropped Jeff Neal and stuff, the Tim Means fight. I can see this being the fight that Cerrone doesn't want, and Nico Price getting the better of him in exchanges, especially. I think there's going to be, a power difference evident, but I don't know. I like Nico Price by decision, to be honest, because to me Cerrone's chin isn't entirely done, and I don't believe outside of the Jouban and Tim Means fight that Nico Price has knocked anyone out on the feet other than those two, obviously, wins, if you consider that. But I like Nico by decision there. So I do. I can see him, getting the better of exchanges, landing more, defending, throwing his chin a few times, and just really turning this into a dogfight. And Price getting the better of Shawnee there. So Price by decision. And then obviously main event here, Colby Covington versus Tyron Woodley. So interestingly enough, Woodley in the in his last, or sorry, in the lead up to this fight, he has came out differently to me. He just seems to have like a chip on his shoulder. That's what he does. And to be honest, I think because if you go watch the press conference and stuff, he just seems a wee bit. He seems to be approaching this one a wee bit differently. To be honest, I think he is like he's got a chip on his shoulder because the whole Black Lives Matter stuff, which is obviously, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but and obviously Colby is the MAGA machine. So to be honest, I just see Woodley trying to make this a fight, like a pure on scrap rather than actual, a mixed martial arts bout. So I can see Woodley being a wee bit more aggressive here, especially in round one, and actually trying to hurt Colby. Because when you think about it, like Colby's been talking shit to Woodley for years now. Like Ty Quill Woodley, Tyron or just his whole names he had for him and stuff. So I think there's going to be a lot of, obviously built up anger for Woodley. And he's just going to come out here like a madman. But if he doesn't, he's going to do the same old shit he does. Like in the Usman fight. Like fucking in every fight, actually, to be honest. In the Gilbert Burns fight, he obviously just stays behind the black lines, and as of recently, since the Usman fight, just doesn't throw, which is stupid, like. But if he does that, it's going to be a bad loss for him. Kobe's just going to be on his legs and just shooting takedowns, and not necessarily getting the takedown, but being in the position of holding Woodley against the fence on his legs, behind his legs, and especially if Kobe does make it out of round one, he's just gonna wear Woodley's arms down and stuff, get his muscles, filled up and stuff, needing oxygen and stuff, and then Woodley's just gonna be a lot slower, and then Covington, the cardio specialist, he's just gonna take over and he's gonna probably 50-45 Usman. He's gonna 50-45 Woodley if Kobe especially makes it out of round one. Just by doing his usual thing, pressing up against the fence on the legs constantly, mixing it up, going to the head. And in the Burns fight, Burns took Woodley down, which I didn't expect to see. So I don't know where Woodley's head's at, to be honest. Dean Thomas said it best about Woodley. In your 20s, like, if you're a fighter, you're in your 20s and you want to kill someone, you want to kill whoever you fight, but when you're in your 30s, you want to take them out for dinner and actually get to know them and stuff better, because you don't necessarily want to hurt them as much as you do. You sort of lack that killer instinct and that ruthlessness. And to me, that's what the thing is with Woodley. He can't pull the trigger anymore. Just go watch the Burns fight. Like, it's just not the same Woodley. But saying that, I do think he does have a big chip on his shoulder. He's going to come out here with a lot of anger, and I think he will take it out in this one, or will try to. he's been promising his fans that he's gonna let his hands go, basically. And to be honest, I can see him doing that, but I still think the result's going to be the same. It'll be interesting when Woodley does that. If he does go forward and applies insane amount of pressure on Covington, it'd be interesting, like, definitely. But if we're going off history and if we're going off tape study alone, this should be a walking apart for Covington. So I think the MAGA train gets back on track here, and Covington takes the unanimous decision in this one. So that's the card wrapped up. So there you go. We will be back for the big one, UFC 253. Can't wait for it. It's the big one. This is the fight I've been looking forward to most over the past easily 12 months. Can't wait for it. And then we've got Bellator next week also. Bellator Europe, interestingly enough. But yeah, so we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for listening.